Hi everyone. As many of you have seen in our daycare videos recently, you might have noticed that different dogs are on different tools. So today what I wanted to do is explain kind of the difference between the tools, how they're used, kind of answer some questions that you guys might have. The dogs that are on tools back there, the owners are aware. It is a discussion that we've had, and those dogs are being trained additionally back there because they need extra assistance. So today we're gonna kind of go over what those tools mean. All right, so here we have just a line. It's attached to different collars on dogs, which we will go over next. But this line is important because dogs that might be nervous of staff might be more energized in the pack, and we have a harder time reaching and grabbing them and things like that, or using staff always carries lines on them as well. But if we can't get to the dog, some dogs you might notice have these lines on them. The line is literally just attached to the collar like that, has a handle at the end. The dogs drag them around. A common question that we get is my dog tethered to anything? And the answer is no. Your dog has freedom of the daycare to be able to move and play, but this just gives staff a little bit extra in the sense of being able to reach dogs. So one of the collars that the leash could be connected to is what we call a martingale collar. So basically this is a modified flat collar. This is also a tool that I sometimes use in training with dogs as well. What's nice about this collar is, unlike a flat collar that puts all the pressure on the front of the throat, this collar actually equalizes the pressure around the dog's neck. So it's just a modified flat collar, just has kind of that little give in the chain there, and you attach the leash to the loop here. So this is a version of a collar that we use both in training and on dogs in daycare. Our next tool is the prong collar. Now I know that this looks like a medieval torture device, however, it is actually a very safe collar for dogs in a lot of ways. What this collar does is it equalizes the pressure around the dog's neck, similar to the martingale, and it actually has the similar mechanic where you kind of have that little give in the chain, and it equalizes the pressure around the neck. In addition, what this collar does is it mimics a bite correction from another dog. So if you've ever seen your dog play with other dogs, including our videos that we post, you'll notice that the dogs all play around each other's necks. They use their teeth and mouth to communicate. So this basically replicates as if another dog says, hey, enough. So that's the design behind this collar. Again, we do use these on certain dogs in back as well as in training. The positive to using different tools is, I'm a firm believer that every dog learns differently, just like people. Some people are visual, some people are audio learners, and dogs can learn differently as well. They're all the same at their core. However, each tool gives them different communications. So that's why we operate and use different tools, because not every dog listens or responds to just one individual tool. All right, one of our next tools is an e-collar. The benefit to a tool like this is being able to correct a dog at a distance and being off leash, so you're not needing a leash. A lot of people have invisible fences and are familiar with invisible fences and fine with it, yet this becomes very scary. And I think the big difference is fear of operating it inappropriately. So with any of these tools, training, and I work with staff, so working with the staff back there to make sure they're using these tools appropriately, I think that that's a big factor to these, because that's what I seem to find with this, is I get a lot of people that have invisible fences, but they're very nervous of this tool. This tool has different settings. It has a vibrate and a correction level. It's formerly known as a shock collar, and I don't like using that term because it doesn't actually shock your dog. What I liken it to is an intense vibration. So it is a little bit different. These are waterproof, so unlike a shock, dogs can actually wear this in water, and they can actually be corrected on this in water. So unlike a shock where their hair would go and it would be dangerous, this isn't the same as an actual shock in that sense. Again, you have the remote, and you're able to guide the dog appropriately through different behaviors that you want to work on and mold, both positive, working on sitting down, as well as correction and stopping other behaviors. Our last tool is a muzzle. Now, the muzzle is used for a variety of reasons. For the safety of our staff, if we have a dog that's a little bit more reactive to staff, for the safety of other dogs in our pack. And what this actually does is it gives the dog freedom to be able to move around and still socialize in their own way. You know, a lot of people think that socialization is strictly play, but we get a lot of dogs that just come and kind of hang out. And what's nice about the muzzle is, one, just because a dog is muzzled doesn't mean that they don't play. We have plenty of dogs that still play with the muzzle, but it gives us the safety of having the dog be able to have that freedom, knowing that they wouldn't be able to get any further. The specific muzzle that we use is this one. It's called a Baskerville. You can get these pretty much anywhere. The Baskerville is nice because, one, it allows the dog to pant. So when it's warm out, the dog's mouth isn't completely closed, unlike a mesh muzzle. So dog can pant. If it's hot out and if you're sweating, the dog should be panting because that's how they cool. They can also eat and drink through the bottom of this. So when the dogs are out in daycare playing, they can drink water just like a normal dog through this muzzle. So that is why we use it. It's one of the safest muzzles on the market. It is kind of a hard rubber, so it's not fully tense. It does have a little bit of give for the dog as they move around, but this allows dogs to have freedom in our pack to be able to play and socialize. So I hope this video clarified how and why we use the different tools. It's important to keep in mind that each dog learns and communicates differently, so what we need to find is a tool that effectively does that for each dog. If you ever have any questions, certainly reach out and we'll be happy to help.